Award-winning Zimbabwean journalist Hopewell Chinono saying he is being harassed by members of the ruling ZANU-PF who have said that they will take his GOAT project that he started a few years ago. Now Chinono, who spoke to Full View last night, alleges the threats have to do with him speaking about the country's health system. Now, before we speak to ZANU-PF's Director of Information and Publicity, Tafadzwa Mokodim, let us listen to this clip of a youth leader, Torai Kandeshaya.
We are not backtracking on the issue of taking Hopewell's goats. We have not been sent by the government or the party. Hopewell produced the receipts for goats that he bought in South Africa, so we'll take all the goats without receipts because those are ours. We are not backtracking on our plan to take his goats on Sunday. We have found a truck. If it's a crime, we will deal with that matter with the police.
Let's speak now to Mr. Mokodim about this very issue. Thank you so much to you. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Are you aware of this clip?
Thank you very much, and congratulations to the workers and working people across the world and our workers in Zimbabwe in particular on this important International Day of the Workers. We salute indeed the efforts of our workers, the working people of Zimbabwe, to extricate our economy so that we achieve growth and vision 2030 together under the mantra no one and no place must be left behind. Thank you very much for that. With regards to the clip that you are talking about, I must say this is not my first time to see it.
And what do you make of it?
Well, it doesn't cause any reactions for me because honestly, we're a very serious organization, a revolutionary part of millions of supporters, a ruling part for that part. We are not bothered by things that happens on social media, and I can assure you that from my position as the Director of Information and Publicity of the party, no discussions have been raised at any level of the party about or with the desire to confiscate property from any individual in Zimbabwe. In fact, Zimbabwe is a constitutional republic, and Section 71 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe is very clear on the rights of individuals and particularly the obligation of the state and, of course, all organizations in it, including this colossal ruling party, that we respect the property rights of individuals, notwithstanding their positions in society or their views. But I must say that what is mind-boggling with regards to the manner in which this issue has been taken out of hand is that, here is social media excitement involving a young person from the party, and they're allowed to express themselves in the manner that they do. Social media is an arena of all sorts of things. It's an arena of all sorts of lies, including those coming from Hopewell Chinono himself. I'm sure you know that he's a legendary liar. And he has been going about lying about the state of the economy, the state of human rights in this country, and nothing has happened to him. So I don't think there's any need whatsoever to magnify a social media excitement involving members of the party to the extent that how they express themselves get to be taken as the legal or legitimate policy positions of the government of Zimbabwe.
So,
honestly,
Mr. Mokodim,
what does
Pardon me for coming in there. Pardon me, I have to come in there. But I'm going to ask you two questions. I'll start with one. You say that this is something that is happening on social media, but social media creates perceptions. Social media can also lead to certain situations that we've seen even unfold, even right here in South Africa. And while social media forms these perceptions, it then creates the notion that there are challenges in Zimbabwe. Investors who are watching these videos on social media start to form perceptions. So I find it difficult when you say that as a government official that you do not care about what happens on social media, because I think you should.
Thank you very much. I've just arrived now from Bulawayo, where we had a week-long vigil on the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, and that is where our efforts were. And I must tell you that there is no serious investment, or a serious investor rather, who would say that they failed to invest in Zimbabwe because of a social media clip involving excited young people, you know. But
it's not, pardon me, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Mokgoateng, but it's not just excited young people. It's young people threatening to take your citizens' property that he has produced receipts for. So if I now, for example, were to come to your country and I want to settle there and start a business or even invest, then I would worry to say that there may be such young people who are telling me that they may be able to do this. Does it not worry you at all?
I think that is unnecessary and needless propaganda from that side, because let me tell you, maybe if you can just allow me in summary to say it. Like I said earlier on, Zimbabwe is a country, a constitutional republic that respects the sanctity of property rights, and no person has been stripped of their property on the basis of their political persuasions. But allow me to clarify this, that I have said this is excitement involving young people in the party, and we have no parameters to govern the manner they expect, they express themselves when they are disgruntled, and I'm sure they have reasons for such disgruntlement. But if I may allow me to give you by way of an example, do you know that the vice president of CCC, Professor Walsh Minwe, is one of the biggest cattle herders in this country, and he has enjoyed the comfort of herding and breeding his cattle without any threat. Not only him, do you know that voracious, elitist, rich people in this country are also found in the ranks and files of the opposition? Talk of Mr. Ndabit and Mr. Chamisa, with lots of documented property here in Harare and outside. And now threats have been given to those. So honestly, what is a colossal revolutionary party like ours, honestly, to be seized with 15 goats belonging to a renegade journalist who is a politician? I don't think it's an issue that arises. There is no basis for that issue to arise to become a topic or issue in the party, and of course for reputable media institutions like SABC, unless there is an ulterior motive. What should be occupying our collective hearts together is how best we can provide solidarity to the Elvis Nyati family that has had to cope up with a father being brutally murdered in a barbaric way in the streets of South Africa. Something that, of course, I know that our governments are handling, but it's something that really has left tears on our cheeks. And honestly, to be bothered about 14 goats that have not been, confiscated, I think it's an issue that does not arise.
And very briefly, this incident, of course, has raised the alarm for some, because it comes at a time where the world is observing Media Freedom Month. And I wonder if you think this will not affect the image of the party and that of the country when it comes to issues of media freedom, because last night he told us that he believes that he's being targeted because he spoke about the state of the healthcare system in the country, and you're calling him a legendary liar.
Thank you very much. Do you know that in this country, hope is not reckoned in the media as a guru or as a phenomenon, as it were? It happens from down south there and other, platforms that he grabs and, of course, tends to monopolize. But as it were, I must tell you that there are brilliant journalists in this country who write very negatively about government and continue to enjoy their freedoms. And no threats have been put on their doorsteps. That is the position. But I don't know why the world outside Zimbabwe thinks that Hopewell is the phenomenon in media such that, is under threat. If honestly government would threaten opposition or opposing voices, as it were, and suppress voices of dissent, do you think that Chamisa could still be engaging in opposition politics in this country with his freedoms completely and totally guaranteed, and all that of his supporters and his rank and file? It couldn't be if it were that we are such a vicious state. We are not, and please take that for what it is. We are not. We're an open, democratic republic that respects people's right to opposing views. And in the process, they continue to have their rights guaranteed. May you take that as a fact other than the fiction that is placed on your doorsteps.
There will be some, though, who will disagree, because we've seen some violence when it comes to some of the rallies of the CCC. But let me ask you then about elections, because they are around the corner. And I wonder, because at the back of what you're saying now, what is your message to those who are watching from outside Zimbabwe and who are thinking that the media is being harassed as part of instilling fear ahead of the elections?
In fact, the first statement is that all members of the media from across nations are welcome, as it were. This is not Zimbabwe's first elections in 2023. We have maintained true to the spirit of holding elections according to the constitutional requirements. After every 5 years, we hold them. We will hold some in 2023. And the message is very clear. The victory of ZANU-PF is undisputable going into these elections because our mobilization is scientific and we have done our homework. But be prepared to hear unbridled, needless noise from losing opposition groups who will deny election results because they have lost them. For them, elections should be either won by them, or if they lose, then they are not free and fair. And it's quite unfortunate, but that is the reality of the opposition we have. We have a different opposition from that in South Africa, where Julius Malema can go and shake hands with President Ramaphosa and say, you have won, we meet in the next 5 years. We have a different opposition from that which we have in South Africa, where the DA can agree to disagree with the ANC, but acknowledge its victory as a genuine victory. The opposition in Zimbabwe is vindictive and doesn't believe in losing elections, even if they know pretty well that they have no traction in the countryside. Look, by the just ended by-elections, we have managed to steal 2 constituents from the opposition. We have taken 14 wards from the opposition. That is a strong indication of what 2018 is going to be. But they will not take that to end. They will ignore that. They will tell you also to ignore that. When they lose, you will say we have stolen elections. We don't steal elections, we win elections because we carry the people on our shoulders.
Mr. Mokwadima, I hope this is not the last time we speak, and we speak again during the elections and in many other instances, because there's quite a lot of developments in that. Pardon? I'm looking forward to having you and my sister Sofukwena in 2023 or earlier. All right, let's see if that indeed happens. Thank you so much for that. That's ZANU-PF's Director of Information and Publicity, Mr. Tafadzwa Mokwadima.